Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace and today we're in Antwerp for the Infosys Finacle Conclave 2018 where the theme of the event is Accelerate Digital. With me now is Samir Khare from FMB Capital Holdings. Hello Samir, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you very much.
Firstly, can you tell me, why is a modern core platform instrumental for a digital transformation journey?
Well, from a banking perspective, the core banking has always been at the heart of things. Even the computerization era, which the bank saw many decades back perhaps, was related to the core banking coming in and enabling the transactional banking piece. The modern day core banking, I don't see that going away. It has to remain at the heart of anything that the bank tries to do with its customers. The digitalization of the banking process is more around the customer interaction and enabling the customer's transformation journeys in terms of straight-through processing of his transactions. At the heart of that, the modern core banking still remains. The way it needs to evolve is more in the sense of moving from legacy and dated architecture models to modern day platforms supporting kind of an architecture, as well as getting onto the new age technologies, leveraging them like the blockchain technologies, etc., and kind of building a modern day core. That will remain at the heart of the banking services, and the key feature will be that these kind of modern core systems should actually support the straight-through processing and enable the digital channels so the customer experiences a better transactional journey.
All right, and how can banks ensure purposeful, perfectly contextual interactions with their customers each and every time?
Well, this is one of the key tenets of digital banking, which is consistency. And a customer, he or she, wherever and whenever they interact with the banking services, needs to experience the same kind of consistent experience. Good, preferably even better. And from that perspective, the customer journey has to be very contextual from the bank's services perspective. And to enable that, data is the key. And a lot of banks are yet to invest in their data strategies. This is the key differentiator when it comes to engaging with your customer segment versus engaging with your customer on a one-on-one basis. And knowing your customer, having a 360-degree view of the customer, these are concepts which have been there for quite some time. However, offering contextual services and enabling the customer's financial transactions very specifically to what he or she needs will be data driven. And I could give you a simple example, like you walk into a retail bank. The banker does not know what you are in there for till you either go to a kiosk and punch in and get a number, or you walk up to a teller, or you walk up to a "may I help you" kind of a counter. Just flip this around from a data analytics perspective and have an AI engine which has a facial recognition software working, and you walk into the bank, the camera captures you, identifies you as a customer, goes into the data analytics engine and figures out that the last 3 times that you walked into the bank, what was it for? So the probability of you walking in for a cash withdrawal or some kind of a transaction is higher. And then shoots off an SMS to your registered mobile number saying that if this is what you walked in for, just go to counter number 3, or and this is just a simple use case or a transformation, but this is where you can offer very contextual services to a customer. And this was just a retail example. From the wholesale side, there are many more examples. So to make the customer experience consistent using digital technologies, I think data is the key. And then, of course, you can apply a lot more channel solutions and AI solutions on top of this, which give the bank the USP to interact with the customer.
And finally, many modern technologies are still in the early stages of maturity, and also there's the challenge of building culture amongst teams to embrace these new technologies. So what recommendations would you give to banks to balance both of these?
Now, this is a piece which is very geography specific, maturity of the entire customer base, the countries, the banks, the regulators, a lot of elements which define this and kind of define this behavior and the cultural changes which are associated with digital adoption. The point I'm making is that you have to take a look at what is your customer need and requirement, and at times you'll find that the customers themselves are not ready to adopt the new technology, and then you have to kind of, if you believe or if you intuitively know, or if there are statistics to prove that this is the next big thing, then you have to invest in education of the customer. Now this is the customer side of it. Internally as well, from within the bank, at all layers, whether it is the junior most person to the senior most execution team members to the management team to the board levels, there are various levels of definitions and understandings of digital. And you need to kind of normalize that. You need to find the common ground which will be acceptable from a customer's understanding and satisfaction of the services, to the amount of money that needs to be invested in legacy banks, to the amount of value and the returns that are perceived on these solutions. So the key word there is education, and a lot of these challenges which you experience culturally, wherein people feel threatened, their jobs, they feel that their jobs are threatened, or they feel that this is something which will not work in their markets. These kind of things can be explained by having proper use cases, bringing in success stories from other countries, other geographies. The key word there is education, and education could also involve getting in success stories from across the world, from various other geographies, adopting it to your local context, to your customers' needs, and then sandboxing them, trying it out with a certain set of customers and business members, and then rolling it out to the customers. So this is how culture change needs to be brought about, by experiencing it. There is no other way of convincing people that this will work or not work for them. And typically it's also a point of how you interact socially with your customers and how you also interact with your employees and your team members outside of the workspace, and then you kind of understand their threats, their perceived threats from digitalization, and how you address those. That's how I think the key differentiator between the digital savvy organizations and the non-digital savvy organizations, that's how it needs to be bridged.
Fantastic. Well, Samir, thank you for your insights. This has been great.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching.